Hello everybody. I'm really hot. I just came out to the Ginger Creek Garden today because I needed to feed the plants. It is July 17th. We are coming up to the weekend that would make it the 7th week here at the Ginger Creek Giving Garden. And I came out here usually right around 6:30. The garden is shaded like this because the sun is saying bye-bye behind the tree over there. So it cools off quite a bit after 6:30. So I wanted to come out here after 6:30 and get it fed. So we found a great deal on Miracle-Gro at Dollar General. A 1.5 pound bag of Miracle-Gro food for plants and veggies was only $3 when it's normally $6. And if you buy the big economy package at Home Depot, it's like $14. So when you look at pound for pound, you're getting a little bit more with the discount we found at Dollar General. So a couple people within the Ginger Creek ministry for the garden chipped in, sent me some money through Zelle, and I went to the store and I purchased a bunch of boxes. So my shed is pretty much full of Miracle-Gro that we can feed this garden all summer long. So my theory is this: if this food is going to feed us, we need to feed it. So I went ahead and I fed it today. So what I do basically is I bring a big 55-gallon drum out here, big like a tote, fill it with water, and then pour the fertilizer in there, stir it up really good, and then just literally take 5-gallon buckets and fill them and dump them on the plants. They only need, I'd say probably about a quart and a half. I just kind of eyeball it as I'm pouring it over. It definitely a workout. I'm hot. I feel itchy because I know some of that fertilizer's on me. But I wanted to give you a garden tour because we're coming up on week 7 and I definitely want to show you what's going on here in the garden. Lots of tomatoes. I'm going to take a count today, and I'm going to harvest a basket of vegetables and weigh it and take it over to Rob so he can give it to the Interfaith Food Pantry or the Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry. We're going to weigh all the food that comes out of the garden this year so we know how much food this many plants yielded this year. So give me a second, I'll turn around the camera and I will show you what's in the garden. I'm probably going to show you every single zinnia that's in the garden because they are absolutely breathtaking. I don't think that there's one zinnia in this garden out of the 15 that are bloomed that are identical. I love zinnias. I'm now addicted and I'm going to plant them every year. But these are our zucchini plants. They are starting to blossom. And if you know a little bit about blossoming zucchinis, the male flowers always come out first. This is an okra. That is not a zucchini, which is fine. We just had to scoot them over here because we had too many in the other bucket. This is my experiment. This is a zucchini and an okra. We're going to see who wins the battle, who outgrows who first. Or they may both stay there, who knows. The male flowers come out first on zucchinis and squash, always. You can tell that this is a male flower because there's no fruit directly behind it on the stem. Same with this one. This down here, that's a female flower because it has a fruit right behind it. So as soon as this opens, hopefully cross-pollination will happen or some ants will get in there and pollinate the female flower so we can have some zucchinis. Looking down in here, bunch of male flowers. I don't see any female flowers with any fruit on it, which is okay. These are still babies. They're still growing. These are all this. I think there's 2 plants in here because that just looks kind of out of control. More zucchini, and these are all the Black Beauty. As you can see, Black Beauty. The sign obviously came out of the ground, but black zucchinis, Black Beauties, and then along this row is our yellow squash. So we have all of those, and they're looking great. This is the same variety that's in the raised bed. I'll show you that in just a couple minutes. It's variegated. It's really pretty. I thought that was like powdery mildew, but it is not. Another stop for zinnia. That one's about to come out. Look at these pretty things. They're huge. Yellow squash, you can tell that's a female flower right here because it has the fruit right behind it. So that's the female. How about this one? That's a male. That's a male. And if you're having problems getting a bunch of flowers but no fruit is producing, that means you need to come out and self-pollinate them. So that's going to be something that we might have to do if we don't get enough bees. This plant's looking a little like it's tipping a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and stake it. Give me 1 second. There, I just lifted it off the ground and kind of directed it up the pole. Here we go with some more yellow squash. Again, the variegated variety. These plants I actually got from Ace Hardware. They were from Bonnie Plant. And I'll make sure to seed some of these zucchini and yellow squash so I can grow them again this year because they're absolutely beautiful. This guy, he's struggling. He's on the struggle bus. He don't have any flowers. Now onto the cucumbers. This whole wall is cucumbers. You see down there, those are a little bit smaller. These are a little bit taller. So I'm not sure if this is a water issue because the water does run downhill here a little bit, so these do get more water. So I'm thinking next year we're going to reposition some of these. I think these are the pickling cucumbers and those are the slicer cucumbers. I grew, I think, 5 varieties. 2 are pickling and 3 are slicer varieties. So I'm going to kind of take notes of what we're doing here because it's obviously not doing so well. But we do have tons of cucumbers. There's tons that are coming out. We have baby ones here. We have big ones here. Like I said, I'm going to harvest some today. They look beautiful. And what variety are these? Let's see. National pickling cucumbers. Oh, that's really big. That's too big for a pickle. Nah, that's not too big for a pickle. These little babies. And when we see the little arms hanging down, we just kind of redirect them up here into the trellis. There's a couple more. Those are kind of babies, but they're good. Little like this. You can pick them right off the vine and eat them, or take them home and pickle them. There's some more. Quite a bit of pickles. So nice to see. You can see that flower has a fruit on the end of it, so that's a female flower. That's a female. There's another female right here. And then that's a male. So that carries the pollen that pollinates this to give this life. More down here. Some babies. These, holy cow. Maybe that's why it's not growing up the trellis, because this big sucker on here, gotta lift them up. I have some clips that I'll use too to kind of guide them up their trellis, because they do have tendrils, these little things, so these can help hold it to the trellis. Some little babies here. And down on this end, let's see, what is this called? I need to redo these signs. Space Master. Space Master cucumbers are really good for buckets and containers. I found that out after I started growing them and put them out here. So they're just going to have to grow in the ground. I think they only get a certain size. I think that's one of the beautiful things about the Space Masters. And a couple more guys just hanging out on the ground over here. Tons of female fruit. This is something that's really interesting to show you. These did not get pollinated. See how they died off? They're not going to produce fruit because these flowers did not get pollinated. So we're just going to have to pray that the plant gets big. This whole thing, lack of pollinators. So these are not going to grow into cucumbers, unfortunately. And when the plant just kind of looks like this, I just kind of direct it into the trellis like that. So it can grow up the trellis. Now this trellis, man, It's a little slumped over, but that's a really heavy plant. So I might have to bring like a T-post out here and kind of stake that up a little bit to raise it up off the ground. Now on to one of the pepper patches. I'm not even sure what kind of peppers these are. I think that sign says mild jalapenos. I'm finding out too that the stakes that I made from blinds, they fade. The Sharpie fades. So maybe next year I'll put a piece of Scotch tape over the top. I don't know if it fades because of the color in the sun, or if it fades because of the heat, or fades because of the water that hits it. So I'm not quite sure. So that was a good experiment that I did this year. This is sweet banana peppers right here. I could not find hot banana peppers, so any banana pepper that comes out of the garden this year is going to be a sweet pepper. Green bell peppers. These were on the struggle bus when I grew them in little seed trays. They were behind the flock on everything, but they are producing fruit, and the plants are just really puny. But if it gives us a pepper, then we're happy. I got these green pepper seeds from the dollar store. So it might have something to do with the germination rate and how they're growing. But they are producing peppers, so we can't complain. Now over to the second pepper patch. These, I cannot wait to try these. Look at how pretty those peppers are. Those are called Sugar Rush Peach. Now, I don't know what color they're supposed to be when we pick them, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But look, they grow straight up like this, and then once they get heavy, they tip over. But this thing is loaded with flowers and fruit. I just can't even wait to try this. Look at this plant. Same thing. It's loaded with little baby fruits, and it's got a bunch of them on there. Look at those. Oh my gosh. And that ant thinks it's supper. I don't think so. Look at these. This one's growing kind of goofy, but that's okay. The plant is really petite, so I don't know if it's probably best to be in a container, but it's got some pretty funky peppers. I'm gonna Google that before I harvest today, make sure I don't pick them when they're too, when they're not mature. That might be cayenne pepper. I did grow cayennes, but those got to be red before we pick them. Green bell pepper again. Cayenne. That's another bell pepper right under there. I think that is, yep, green bell pepper. Some jalapenos, as you can see. More jalapenos. Look how many are under there. They're hiding from us. Jalapenos, 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 jalapenos. Some of these jalapenos are mild jalapenos. I don't know what this is. I wish I knew. These are really skinny, but I didn't grow any serranos, so I don't know what this is. Some more banana peppers. More banana peppers. More bananas. They look great. And now off to tomatoes. I took notes about these tomato plants in my phone, and I'm recording on my phone, so I cannot tell you what the varieties are unless I see the sticks on the ground. But we got quite a few fruits. Look at that. They're so pretty. Lots of fruit on here. Have to stake this up. This, I don't know what happened. I don't know if we put 2 plants in the ground or if it's split down there. I have no idea. Lots of blossoms, baby fruit, tomatoes. This plant, where's his fruit? Tons of flowers. No fruit. What variety is that? Nobody knows. There's no stick. No idea. There's a baby fruit. These have to be Romas when they're shaped like that, or a paste tomato, but I did do a bunch of Roma tomatoes. There's some more over here. Roma tomatoes. That's loaded. This little standalone plant on the corner. More zinnias, marigolds, more Romas. Lots of tomatoes on there. These are pretty. I'm just anticipating the summer to hurry up and give us some fruit on these tomatoes. This guy, we don't know if he's gonna live. We're leaving him there. As long as he shows signs of life, he's not getting yanked out of the garden. Now off to the raised garden beds, which I'm so excited about our melons. They're growing a lot, and I think it may have overcrowded the beds, but we're gonna let it happen. Let me flip you around. White pumpkin. Oh, white pumpkin, how beautiful you are. There was a pumpkin in here. Now where is he? I don't know where he is. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's a pumpkin. We grew a pumpkin. Look at him. It's like the size of a large grapefruit. There's only one of them. Ouch! This plant is so spiky. Oh, there's another one coming. See it? Right there. That's a female. Also there too. Right there. That's another female. That's awesome. So at least 3. But that plant, it's going to be pretty big. Our eggplants. Our eggplants have blossoms. See them? I don't know what those bugs are. Those are pretty annoying. So I got to keep an eye on that. More zinnias. Look at that bright red zinnia. It's beautiful. Pretty pink one. Okay. Those are our nutmeg melons, and they have blossoms. Blossoms all over, and I'm gonna vine that up the trellis a little bit. Our peppers over here, lots of bell peppers here, like the red peppers, orange peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers. These on the bottom here, these might be some more little green peppers. As you can see, they're a little shorter than the big ones. Brussels sprouts, the plants are looking pretty good. This is orange honeydew making a showing with their blossoms, beautiful blossoms. I'm gonna come over here with some ties and tie it up on the trellis a little bit. Beautiful zinnias. That one's just gorgeous. Then we have some tomato plants in here. Not sure what variety. Oh no, this is Brad's Atomic Grape. You can see the pretty tomatoes in there, and once they turn a little bit of red blush on there, then we'll harvest them. They're a darker cherry tomato, saladette size. And then our yellow squash. Remember I said I'd show you the variegation? This is the variegation of that squash plant. These are the ones I bought from Ace Hardware, and we got some big old yellow squash in there, so I'm going to harvest those today. A couple more back there, coming out. And then this is our Miracle-Gro melons. These are like individual little watermelons, and they are yellow inside, but very sweet. This is the biggest okra in the race. This guy, look at that big blossom coming out right now. Can't wait till it comes out because they are beautiful blossoms. Baby squash that we transplanted, and it's living. We are so happy to see that it's thriving. And then this little guy, same thing. All the dead leaves broke off and he is thriving, so I fed them today. So that's it. I just wanted to share with you what's going on in the garden today.